But I'm going to be showing you something which I believe is going to be the future of how epigraphy is going to be itself here. So we've seen from 2 days and an exhibition there a lot of estampages. Every presenter I think has shown estampages here. So I'm not going to show you estampages, I'm going to show you something which I call as the 3D digital twin of an inscription. This is a digital twin. It's not a photograph. So a lot of people who saw the video clips outside might have thought, "Oh, how is this any different from a video clip?" I see like these kind of things every day. What's the big deal in that, right? I suppose you have. Great. All right. So let me first get this concept of what a 3D digital model is out of the way. So what typically you can do in any photograph is this. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can pan, you can do all of this, right? So I can say go to the left. A photograph, anybody can do this. This is not anything special at all. But when I say 3D digital twin, what I'm saying here is this. I can turn it around, I can see it from the sides, I can see the back, and you can see the effect of light. So let me first explain this concept of what I mean by a 3D digital twin. What you are seeing now here is an exact three-dimensional digital copy of that inscription, which has been shown, I think, nearly by every speaker now. This is the Naga inscription at Banwasi temple. Right? Kulkarni sir showed it, and almost everybody has shown this today. So I can flip it around left, right, and I can rotate it. That's what makes it a 3D object. Right? 3D means essentially you can look at it from different angles, and I'm doing it in real time. If you notice here, even the shadows change because the light on a 3D object will look, and the shadows will change if I move the object as well. Right? Now, there is this inscription here. Now, all the estampages that you've seen, all the photographs you've seen, there was a piece of inscription here. This has been lost 3 years ago, or about 2 years ago, because the people were applying oil on that and they were worshipping it. Now, as of now, since then, ÉßöÄgï has actually closed the gate. Now it's locked, it's not whatever. The reason for doing digital preservation is this. Okay, man destroys inscriptions, sometimes unintentionally, sometimes intentionally. You can put a lock and key and then you can lock it now and then make sure that it's not going to be harmed by that. But even more interestingly and more importantly, nature itself takes a toll. When Keshwa sir said we buried it back, the reason for doing it was nature is destructive too. Okay. So, the atmospheric corrosion, sunlight, water, all of that is going to chip away and flake away. If you keep this in a glass cage for the next 1,000 years, it's not going to be exactly the same. We have a solid example of this in the Bangalore Museum here, in a memorial stone called the Savi Nirmidi Inscription Stone, where she's holding palm leaves in her hand. Photographs taken in 1990 is still readable. But today, nothing is visible on that. In 30 years, it's completely worn away or eroded away. The reason we take when we take a photograph like this in 3 dimension, then we know that on that particular day when we took it, like this is what it was. Now let me explain to you what I mean by 3D as well. Now let's say I just want to measure how deep this is. I can measure the depth of that groove. I'm not zooming in here, and I thought my specs I can't see well. My guess is this is of the order of about 0.5 millimeters. Okay? Now I can do the same on at a higher level. Let me not get into that kind of a granularity. I don't put dimensions on any of my models because I don't use scales, I don't do anything like that because I can take dimensions here. How big is this? Measure it from there to there. This is not a photograph. You can see the dimension there. I'll shift it a little bit to the side.
Can you tell me what is the app you can use for that?
This is called MeshLab, sir. This software is called MeshLab. Okay. Now I can measure in 3-dimensional whatever forms I want. A typical inscription in the Bangalore region is about 1 millimeter deep. The writing of it. A very shallow inscription is of the order of 0.25 millimeters. Now I can quantify it and I can tell you it's not skill based like a technician or an estampage operator. If the fellow is skilled, he can take it well. But in this case, I'll tell you this is 0.5 millimeters. It's impossible to capture it on an estampage. My machine will capture it to a resolution of 0.05 millimeters. 0.05 millimeters is the resolution, is the thickness of a human hair. Anything which is a human hair thick on that stone will now be recorded. Indian human hair, some other hairs are thinner and whatever. Okay, all right.
Minute things also recorded.
Minute things are recorded. So before we take this one, we dust it, we clean it of dust, because dust also can affect that as well. We prefer not to make it non-contact, but at all. In case there is a lot of layer of dust on that, we dust it off. Okay. So now, do please look at this carefully. It is readable. Right? Actually, the way it was, let me remove all the shaders. So, this is how it naturally looks. Now, it's not so very readable. Right? So, what I can do is, computer magic. I can shine a light. I'm shining a light from left to right and right to left. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. Is that readable? Definitely readable. Alright? Much better. Much better. But that's really not a big deal. You can go to the stone, shine a light, and do the same exercise, and you can do that too. Why do I need to do all this drama then? Right? So where I can use the power of computing is, let me restore it like this, and keep looking at the screen, please. See what happens to the object. How's that? It jumped out of the thing, if you saw that now. Let me put it up so that you can see it again. Or let me do something else. This is still not good enough. Let me zoom, or maybe I don't know if you can you see, read it from the last sheet there? Very nice. Okay. So, now this is still not very readable. In fact, you can, if you notice, you can see the carving, how it has been done. I think it's inscribed here. Is he used a chisel? Is he used a nib-like device? What is it? If I don't see ridges there, then I can tell it's not a chisel that he's used. Yeah. I can also tell, how has he gone? This is the direction, or this is the flow of the nib. If it's ending at a pointed thing at the end, that means that is the last this one. I can study at a stroke level there as well. On granite where they have used chisels, I can actually show the chisel marks. I'll try and see if I can pull up a model like that. Keep looking at this. A lot of people may find still this to be hard to read. Keep looking at that image. You'll see some magic happening. How's that? Is that readable? Absolutely. Let's say I'm not so convinced with that. I want to look at it from a different angle. Just rotate it. Go wherever you want to and look at it from there. See, this piece is already going away. Now this is where all the argument comes. From morning I've heard so many people saying this is Sri Parvata, this is Sri whatever Parvata, and this is the space missing and all of that. What is the scope for errors in reading? Rajshekarappa is, I'm sure, going to be asking me now, Nadiru Hogana Chandravali, E Takshana. It reduces this kind of ambiguity and unnecessary arguments and opinions and whatever, all that. The truth is there for you, staring on the face. How good is this? Why are we working with dirty, old, crumpled stamp pages? I wouldn't go anywhere near that. So I objected my TV is being put up in front of the stamp pages for this reason. I said, look, I want to distinguish and differentiate. I don't want to stand there. Here is what something. No, but this is still not good enough. Probably, as you guessed, my eyesight is not as good as most of yours. I'm not happy with this. I can't do this. More digital magic. I strip off the color of the stone. Let's see what happens. How's that?
Fine.
Do we still have arguments about anything here? And let's say I'm the worst of the people here with the vision issue. I'm not happy with this. I want to do even more. Keep looking at that object. How's that? Much better, right? Now this is essentially what we do here when I say digital color epigraphy. We are moving out from the 1850s or whenever it was that the stampage method was invented to the 21st century, where we are able to put people on the moon. Almost the same technology that's used to put people on the moon is what you are seeing here now. And there's, you can do a lot of things. I'll skip it for now. I've shown you, just to recap what I did. I showed you a 2D looking kind of photograph. In real time I'm flipping around, which hopefully will tell you this is not a video clip I'm playing. If you tell me show it from the bottom, I'll show it from the bottom. If you show it from somewhere else, I'll show it. I'm shining a light on it and the shadows change. I'm then using some radiance algorithm, sophisticated imaging techniques, enhancing the contrast of that and bringing out the image in the letters itself in that. I'm stripping off the color. I've got a pinkish color here. If I don't like it, I can put some other color and see if that surfaces some more information. All of that. This is the 3D scanning that we are talking about. Now, when the seminar was announced, and Padigar sir said, can you go digitize this? So we asked for ASI for permission. We got it in end February. And in the last 2-3 weeks, we have scanned 16 Kadamba inscriptions so far. The 3 more to do, which we will do in the next stone inscriptions only. Okay. Now, so all of these inscriptions are also in something called, we have a way of publishing which is again not the usual book-based way of doing. We have developed a software called the Akshara Bandara software. You can use it right now. You can access all of this as well. So let me show you a little bit of the Akshara Bandara software. Now, Krishnamurti is going to be a little unhappy when I show this because all that he showed, I'll show it here in a much more easier and a bigger way. So here, okay, let me switch to English so that this is bilingual, Kannada and English, and both of you can use it in any way you want. Now, let me pick, so the first list are all Kannada. Now, as you can see here, these are all Kadamba inscriptions. So I'll pick the one that I was looking at, which is the Nagasiri Naga stone itself. This is the Naga stone. We have put up so many, but you can use this on your phones. If anyone of you want to try it, please search for Akshara space Bandara on your phone. You'll get a link, click on it, and the same app will load up there. The mobile version looks a little different. So let me show it to you how it looks as well. So this is the software. Right now I'm accessing it from here itself. You can do the same too. Type for Akshara Bandara, or the QR code is everywhere. You can scan it and you can use it. At this time, there are about 185 inscriptions loaded up on this, the data from that, which is approximately about 35,000 characters. 4,000 of those characters are from the early Kadamba period. All that Krishnamurti, poor man, had to study from Western pages is now online and ready to use as it is that you want. So here, let me show you. So there are many images. You can click. You want to see it in different ways. You can zoom, pan, again, all of that. On this one itself, I can play around here, see it, and all of that. So we bring in not just digital images of inscriptions. There's the different color. If you like to see it in different colors, we can assign colors, and sometimes readability improves because of the color. There you are. This is actually a very nice color to read. Okay. Now, also, most people who study inscriptions rarely visit the site. Very, very, very few people. I don't know. So many people have put up photographs of this. I'm not sure how many of people have actually seen this in person. My guess is in this room we'll have less than 5 or 10%. 10% of the total thing. It's a tragedy because without seeing that, you do not get the context of that inscription itself. You're reading somebody else's interpretation, summarization, and all of that. You claim it to be original study, the original source or primary source. The primary source is not the book. It's not South Indian inscriptions, it's not Epigraphy Indica. The primary source is what is on the stone. And if you claim to be doing original research, I would say you must study it. Now, feasibility, practicability is also an issue. People cannot go around every time they want to see, right? That's why we made this available like this. Now, this is as good as you're visiting the place. We have gone to places which are unimaginable. Now, we stood in the hot sun 2 weeks back, and I think Shashi's changed color, a few darker shades of black now because of that. When we stood by the Talgunda pillar from morning to evening, and we are standing on a ladder. I'll show you that too, as well. We brought it to the whole world. Now, this is not in a book, this is online. You can access this sitting in Banavasi, if you care, or you can sit in Bangalore, or Mysore, or Kanpur, or Delhi, or Lahore, or wherever else people have come from, or from Chicago, New York, London, Tokyo, Melbourne, where everybody is using this software. Every day I monitor where people are using it from. Globally, I find place names I don't even recognize. I have to put it on maps and identify that it says this is in USA, in the state of New York, or somewhere like that. That's the power of this. The researchers sitting in Germany and America also using this. Okay. Now let me show you what is the value of this. Line by line, character by character, we have given you the image here. So we said, so this is Siddham, this is Ranno, all of that character by character we give. The arguments that we are having, no, you haven't seen this letter. Hey, that's fine, use this image and you give me a reading itself. Don't take my word for it, validate it. Where do we get this kind of information today in any publication? We get an established photo at most and then a reading. We don't get a character by character here. If I don't, this is not good enough, I can zoom in there. I can see, I click on it, it tells me this is from Banavasi, this is the letter H, line number 1, file number 3, then the script is Brahmi, it gives me a lot of information, all that. It tells me what is the size of this, the character size, the letter size, any information you want is already on that. This is on for 35,000 characters, 16 of which currently are from Kadamba. Approximately 4,000 Kadamba characters, you get this detail of information. So let me show you one more example. So I made my plea to whoever is holding the bell. Now this is also been discussed a lot. The Malayali inscription, which actually has 2 inscriptions on that, both from the Shatavahana period as well as the Kadamba period. This is a very, very shallow inscription. You cannot even take an estampage of this today. 100 years ago when Rice and whoever went, they got it. In 100 years it has deteriorated to the point where you will find it hard to even recognize any scratch marks on that. That is the situation of that. Now, so line by line we do this. Now let me just show you the state. These are all digital photographs. This is the real one of us scanning. So we carry a ladder, we go there, we stand on the ladder, somebody holds an umbrella because we don't want direct sunlight on that, and we do this. Now here I will ask this question, who are we researching all this for? Who are we studying all this for? As researchers, as historians, who are you studying all this for? I must have visited about 1,000 inscription sites in the last 4 years now. Every place I go, they don't know what's written on that. They don't know how it connects with them. That inscription was put up not for us, it's put up for the people of the place. And that place was, they said, they put a sun and moon saying this is for people of the place forever. Why are we not sharing that information with them? This is the Kadamba, the seminar book is not going to go to those places. We have to reach the information to them. As of today, Ramesh Hirajambu has already been kind enough to circulate all of these villages, to these villages, the videos. This software is accessible from those places. Those boys will be thrilled to check it out. Imagine the effect it will have on those boys if you tell them you have 1800-year-old writing in your place. You guys should go to school. You should become a teacher, you should become a researcher, you should become an educationist, you should become a scientist. It has an incredible effect on society at large. Contribution of knowledge should also be a purpose, and my request to every one of you is I am doing it my part by sharing this to a software, making it accessible to the world. Each one of your articles, please send it back to the place that it connects to. Let those people read it and let them value it. For them it's the most valuable thing on earth. For this thing it's just another article in one seminar. Okay? Alright. So now the question you asked, sir. This is the traditional way of looking at it. We don't use dynasties, we use century terms here. The period 200 to 219, okay, let me switch to IIST so everybody can follow me. And all of that. Extracted from those images, not copied. Krishnamurti Korman had to copy it by hand. We give it to you here. Now if you don't like this, there's not one sample, there's multiple samples. I keep clicking here. It will pick up from different inscriptions, different forms of and all of that. Right? This is the contention I think you also had in one place. What ದೀರ್ಘಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಜಗಳಗಳು ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸಂಯುಕ್ತ ಅಕ್ಷರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜಗಳಗಳು ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Let me show you that too. Now I want to show you, Krishnamurti hinted at this. Nobody writes in the same way, even in a given period. The Kadamba script is not just one kind of standard script. So I'll show you the forms of the R's. Switch to IIST so everybody can follow this. Okay. Let me pick the letter which changes the most. Let's say Kane ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ. So ಇದು ಒಂದನೇ ಶತಮಾನದ ಕ. ಮೂರನೇ ಶತಮಾನದ ಕ ಬೇರೆ many different types of ka from that same century. And this is not touched by hand. Not my imagination, I'm not scribbling something on a notepad, transferring the knowledge. Picked up directly from the inscription itself. 4th century, 5th century. I don't talk about Kadamba and all of that. I keep going down like this. 11th century, 18th century. How do I see the letter K evolve? Any letter you want, we can do the same exercise. Show me for the letter W. Now, we launched it in the Kannada Sahitya Sammela. In the Kannada Sahitya Sammela at Mandya in December. Kannada Sahitya Sammela attracts all Kannada lovers, right? There's easily upwards of about 4 lakh people who visit the place there. Our stall at any time had about 200 people there. That's all it could fit. And we are playing games. We are not doing this. We have a version here called practice where we put up the image and ask the person to read. We are giving away chocolates as prizes for children. There was a literally a riot there. Children who you would not expect to know these letters. We think this is a very difficult thing to acquire. It's a Brahma Vidya ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬ್ರಹ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯೆ ಅಲ್ಲ. 10ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಲ್ಲೂ 3ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಲ್ಲೂ ಮಕ್ಕಳು 5 ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ಕಲಿತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಲಿಪಿ ಇದು. If a child in the 3rd century learned this at the age of 5, why do we need a 50, 60-year-old man in the 21st century to learn this? Children love it, they'll take to it instantaneously. Now the same Malvalli, Talgonda, every children, we can pass this on to the teacher there. Imagine the teacher goes there and says, Noda, illi nammuru, ಸ್ಥಾನಪುರನೋ ಪುರನೋ ಮಲ್ಲಪಳ್ಳಿನೋ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಕುಣಿದಾಡ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. They will be so thrilled with all of that. So this is the power of digital technologies. This is how we do. Now the other thing is, other ways, I don't expect everybody to download the Akshara Bhandara and start using this kind of software, right? Now the go-to place for finding information today is something called the Wikipedia. How many people here use the Wikipedia? Only one, and that's the tragedy. I'll show you why it is a tragedy in a second. Now we have spoken so much about the Talgunda pillar inscription, right? So let us see what, I want to find the information actually on Google. I could have done it directly. I'm skipping a thing. There you are, I said Talgunda pillar inscription. How many people here have actually read the text of the Talgunda pillar inscription? Letter by letter? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's it. Summary, I suppose a lot more people will know, right? Now this one is an article created by somebody about that. You see the temple there, you see the location there, you see the pillar there. There's a beautiful this one, what does it say in terms of all of that? Yeah. And then what the bibliography associated for that and all of that. Okay? Actually the page, let's see, we upload our images here, we add to this one as well. I want to show you something. 4 people in such a erudite, scholarly audience raise their hand saying, I've read it. How many people in the world do you think would have read it today? 0? The 4 people are sitting here. I think there are 4 other people elsewhere in the world. Let's see that. It's going to show me in a second now the number of views this article got in the last 1 week or 10 days or whatever. 23 people read it on the 18th. Now tell me which journal will get read 23 times, or which journal carrying an article will get read 23 times in a day across the world. Not possible. Impossible. This is every scholar's dream. How do you reach information? This way. So we have put up about 200 inscriptions from a project on the Wikipedia articles like this. All the digital images that I showed you now are also shared on Wikimedia Commons. It's being used by people for research articles and studies and all of that. Now, I would think this should be an eye-opener for every one of you. Now, there's also Kannada versions of the same thing. Anyone sitting in Talgunda should be able to read and enjoy this. It's information, it is their information, it's not our information. The Talgunda people are the custodians for that. The Praneshwar has been saving them for 1800 years just for that. Why are we kind of holding it here in Mythic Society Library or some other esoteric library like that? We need to share it with the world. They are the ones who really need to know this message. So which is why we adopt the digital, when I say digital epigraphy, scanning is one part of it, studying is another part of it, sharing information is the third part of it. And we have done all of this for the Kadamba inscriptions as well now. Thank you so much.